That's a tool I've always liked to use because it gives real information to the parent. The second tool, which is almost always the second activity, the second event, is going to be the showcasing of arm strength. This is when we take the position players generally. Catchers will do in a moment. I'll talk about you catchers here in just a second. But we'll take all of the outfielders and the infielders and we'll put everybody into deep right field. We want to see your throw to third base and your throw to home. So the coach, somebody will be standing there and generally just throw a ball up in the air. Good showcases will do that because they want the ball off the ground. They don't want to get the ball wet or slick or anything like that. So we'll have a bucket of balls, and he'll just stand there, wait for okay, we're ready. This is, number 164, Johnson. And he throws the ball up in the air, and then you get under it and catch the ball, and you throw it to 2 to third and generally 2 to home. Why is arm strength important for us? Well, as a next level program, whether that be pro ball, you're coming from high school to college, or pro ball, or you're going from college to pro ball, at the next level, we know what it takes for plays to be made on a routine level and an athletic level. So when it comes to arm strength, what we are really trying to determine is when it's time to throw, whether you're an outfielder, infielder, or a catcher, can you, one, make the routine play with your arm, throwing across a diamond or throwing to the bases, and two, do you have an ability to grab another gear and make the athletic play? And that's the one where you won't make often, but that's the one where you're cutting a run down at third base, or you're throwing somebody out at home, or you're going to the backhand at third base and just cutting it loose across a diamond. As this drill's going on, there's 3 specifics that we're looking for. We're looking for carry, effort, and control. Carry is how far the ball goes toward the base without losing velocity, without losing force, without falling off. So think about it this way. From right field, draw a line between where the person is throwing the ball and where third base is. That would be a perfect line. And in the middle, there's that shortstop guy. That's to kind of line them up. And what you're ideally, the greatest arm out there is going to throw it from a line, from that position, all the way to third without it losing force. When we're talking about carry, we grade it all kinds of different ways. There's some guys that go plus arm, zero arm, which is average at their level, not your level, at their level. Zero arm is average, minus arm is below average. There's a 1 to 10 scale, which I like, which 10 would be the elite, in this case, throw on a line all the way over, and 1 really doesn't go anywhere. And I'm going to explain more about that one in just a second. And then generally the guys on the pro ball side use a 20-80 scale, which is graded, it's a player comp, which is graded against players at their big league level. 80 arm is high elite. Your Pud Rodriguez, your Johnny Bench from behind the plate, your Dave Winfield from right field, those epic top in the game arms. And 40 is not particularly prospectable. They need to be, that 20-80 scale, you need to be in the 60s to be into that consideration for arm strength. I like the 1 to 10. Here's why I like it. We're looking from the stands over the first base dugout. So right field is over there, and third base and home plate are over here, and that shortstop I talked about is in the middle. I am going 1 to 10, 10 being where the ball lands, third base, if it lands on a line there, and 1 being where you let go of the ball. 5 is where the shortstop is. So what I'm looking for is where on that line drive, that on a line, where does it lose carry? Where does the force fall off of it? So if you've got a right fielder throwing and he throws on a line, and I can see it's on a line, it gets past the shortstop. Right at the shortstop, it starts to die. So not where it lands, but where I can see it falling right at the head of the shortstop, that's a 5. Now the next guy comes up and throws, and he basically takes the same throw, and instead of dying at the shortstop, now it dies about halfway between short and third. For me, that's a 7. So it's an easy way for me to look at and say, okay, he has got a 7 arm. That means he can make a carried throw, a throw on a line from deep right field to halfway between the cutoff man and third base, or cutoff man and home plate. That's a tool I've always liked to use because it gives real information to the parent. It also is equatable to me at the next level, would that be college or pro ball, where I'll know how that will compare or comp to what happens at our level.